All right, we're gonna be doing a tutorial on the ScreenWorks Easy Fold screen. I'm just gonna go through the parts. Right here, we have our legs. We have our skirt for the bottom. This is a half dress kit. And we have our frame here. We have our cranks in that bag, and then here's our screen for a front projection. So front projection screen. All right, so first we're gonna start with getting our frame all set. So I'm gonna move these out the way for now. And just so you know, as you'll see, when we get there, I can show you better, but each of the legs have a stage right or a stage left. This one would be your stage right. Stage right meaning if you're looking at the front of your screen, stage right would be your right from the audience view. And then stage left will be on the other leg. So again, we're gonna start with the frame. I'm gonna move this stuff out the way, give it some room. Skirt. All right, cranks here. These up there, doesn't matter. Get this all opened up here. So again, we can come in and take a look at this here. It is labeled. Everything you need will be labeled. This is the top. This is the bottom. So as you're opening it up, remember that. Keep the bottom at the bottom, top at the top. All right. Come in close again. I'll show you right here. We're gonna have these 4 corners here in each corner. First thing we wanna do is we wanna lock these in place. Just by simply pushing it in. I can show you again on this side. Wanna make sure your frame is straight all around. Then you wanna make sure you come here and it'll click just like that as we lock it in place. All right, and then you wanna come around to here. See these little sliders? Come right around. Make sure it's straight. It locks right down underneath the little nudge there. And you wanna go around. Make sure you do that in all places as well. Some may be on the back side of things. Just make sure those go around checking all around. Make sure that all of those are locked in place. Here's another one. And then it looks like one more here. All right. Now the screen is locked in, secure. Oh, this one. All right, so as we just went around and locked all the latches in place, there are 6 sliding, swinging around latch gates that you want to make sure are done, and then just double check around and make sure that all of them are locked in place. So this is actually the back of the screen. So I'm gonna flip this over, but you may find it easier to put the legs on from the back, or you can flip it over, put the legs on from the bottom, whichever is easier to you. How you distinguish between the the front or the back of the screen, you can look at these buttons here. Your screen obviously goes on the top. So the buttons will be on the front side all around the frame for your screen to be able to button on to the top. All right, but before we put the screen on, we're gonna go ahead and attach our legs. So grab one of our legs. As I mentioned previously, early on in the video, we have a stage left and a stage right leg. Lock these. So stage right, once again, we'll go on this side because it's always from the audience perspective when you're talking about stage right. So this is your stage right. We'll leave that there. Come back to that. I'm gonna open up your stage left. Left. Yep. Lock that in. All right. And as you can see, labeled there, stage left. How we did the others, before we lock everything in place, want to make sure. For something shortly, just to make things a little quicker. So right now we're going into our little goodie bag. Got all our little cranks that goes around to secure the legs onto the screen. So as you can see here, I taped off where we want the legs to align for the desired height. Ready? That we're looking. All right, so as you can see, I have taped, pre-taped, everything was taped already. I taped it myself to align the leg with the screen for the desired height. So we want to align the black with the black. We're going to ignore the blue for now. I'll get to that later. We're going to turn this so that the stage right there, is up in the air like that. And then we're gonna align, we'll leave that there. We're gonna have to come in close for this one. But this is what you are aligning your leg to at the bottom here. They're all down here. And I'm going to tape off when I get there with this green tape of each one that we need to fix a crank to. Right, line black to black. There's the hole right here. Here's the bottom little peg thing that I was showing you. I'm gonna put that right on top, just like that. And it's easy to make sure the whole leg is underneath so you don't have any issues trying to balance this when we put the crank in. And now we're gonna go from the very bottom here, through the hole, through the next hole, and then we're gonna put our crank in. Sorry, wrong way, there we go. Make sure it's nice and pretty tight. You don't want this to come off. There we go.
Go ahead, like twisting it. Twist it.
Make sure it's nice and tight. All right. Now we're gonna come to the next one here, which is gonna be right here where we have the blue tape. We're gonna put another one right here where we have the blue tape. All right, make sure this is good. Yep, it's nice and pretty tight. And we're gonna do one more right here. This last one, and that's where I'll put the green tape. Put the green tape here, right next to this one here, so that we know that's the last place we're going to put our little crate. All right, so we put the green tape here, and we put the last crank right there where we aligned our green tape. Make sure it's tight. That should be good right there. All right, and so what you'll do is you'll align the same ones right on the other side over there. Good. We'll do the same thing we did on the right side to the left. All right, so now that we have this side complete and all the entire leg is fixed to our frame here, really tight, let me just go over the taping here one more time. So the black aligns with the black, that is for the height of the leg. So you wanna make sure that that is aligned, and then our first crank is there. The blue tape is for a different height. If we wanna adjust it for a higher height, this leg will come down to here and align with the blue tape. And that'll increase roughly about a foot. But however, we're not doing that. Sticking with our blue tape there. And then we got another little marking here, blue marking and green. Again, that's just for the cranks, for placement. Placement. All right. Oh, something wrong with this one. There we go. Last time. Ready?
Yep.
All right, so now that we got both legs on each side, green tape is there, blue tape, black tape, everything's there. Now we want to move to our screen. This is a front projection screen. How you know? It's white. Rear projection usually has like this grayish screen. You want to take a look at this here. Bottom. Once again, this is how you know this is the bottom of the screen. And it's also the back of the screen. Tag is always on the back. Then you have the top on the other side. Try to do this in a clean place. You don't want to really get your white on the ground. The front, for sure. Just go over back to this side because I don't want to pull the screen while the buttons are there. You can mess up the screen, pick it up, place it on the inside, and then I'll pull it from the other end. That's cool. All right, ready? All right, so now we're going to go ahead and pin our buttons to the screen here. It's always good to start with the corner. And by the way, I encourage to do this with 2 people and not 1. The safer, the better. Don't want to mess anything up, even though I'm doing it here myself. 1 button. Get my corners on first. It's 2. And the reason I'm doing my corners first, because I'm doing it by myself, so it's easier for one man to do it with the corners first. You gotta pull it. All right. Now, before your last corner, you can start buttoning the rest down. Should be easy, it should be all lined up for you since you did the other corner. You hit that little click. Down. This side. All right, let's get to the bottom here. Can't stand the bottom. Try your best to never put your hands on the white screen, just to keep it clean. If you need to pull, you have this here. Just pull it tighter. Button. And of course, it's gonna have to be pulled. There we go. So now our screen is on. Now the only thing we got left to do is attach the skirt. Some people do this standing with the screen lifted up. Some people do it with it on the ground. Your preference, doesn't really matter. All right, so now the last thing we gotta do is put the skirt on. And this white lining here on the inside of the screen has all the buttons here. You're gonna fix it to the bottom buttons. As you can see, the bottom of the screen buttons are different from the other buttons going around. Here we go. Just go ahead and attach it. And once again, you can do this with the screen standing. You don't have to do it this way. It all depends on your personal preference. Just make sure you grab here because you don't want to push the screen into the frame like that. So I'm grabbing it underneath here. Let's go. All right. Cool. Alrighty, so the last thing you got to do, you got your skirt on, got your legs on, got your screen attached to the frame. All we got to do now is stand it up and make sure the back legs are locked in place. To do this, you cannot do this by yourself. You can mess up the screen. You don't want to do this. You always want to grab an extra person. So I'm going to ask Dante here to give me a hand, if he does not mind. He's going to lift it up. Straight up there, straight up. And then once we get it here, all right, now we're in the back here. Make sure the leg's down on both sides. And then I use my foot, but I don't encourage it. You want to take this, you want to press this in, make sure it's locked. I'm not strong enough, so I'm going to use my foot. Shoot you. All right, so now we have our screen locked in place.
I'm scared to put it down on my mom. I ain't trying to bend it.
Is up. From here, just make sure your skirt how you want it. Put it out, make it look pretty. It's not too pretty right now. Not putting too much effort into it. But there's your screen.
Oh yeah, you good, baby?
Oh my goodness.